Welcome back to Around the Creek. As always, I'm Elijah.
I'm Aiden.
And I'm Owen.
Let's get into it.
So this episode, we're going to be talking about family meeting. This is the perfect introduction for children into the legal system.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah. So what's your
alright.
overall thoughts on this episode? Wanna hear what
Honestly,
you
I love
think
it.
about it.
I thought it was hilarious. I loved
No, it's
it.
a great episode.
It is. The whole plot behind it is just hilarious. Because I feel like that's something every family goes through. There's always like
Yes.
The blame
who,
game.
who did the fluffy.
And
Yeah.
it's always the dads. Let's be
It's
honest.
always the pets.
It is also always the dads. I did actually mention that in my notes. The
Oh, you
stereotype.
took notes.
Yeah,
you
I
took
took a lot of
I'm
notes.
not
I think
organized.
all three of
I
us
did not.
watched this today, right? We all three of us
I
watched family meeting.
did not watch this. I did not rewatch
Oh,
this.
okay, so
Okay.
you're behind.
Me
I
and
am a little
Owen
behind.
rewatched it today, like literally right before the
Yes.
podcast. I'm like, wait, guys, give me
I
8 minutes.
probably should have, but it's okay.
No, it's fine if you can remember.
No,
it.
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
I
it'll be
can I
fine.
remember for the most part. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll be good.
It was better than I remember because I remember watching it. It's like the last episode on Disney Plus,
It is.
and
the
I
last
remember
episode.
not
Yeah.
liking it a whole lot. But then rewatching it today, I'm like, wait, this is actually better than I thought. It's actually pretty funny.
Like some of my favorite episodes are the ones where they use their imaginations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of imagination used in this game,
yeah. Yes.
which I love.
Okay,
I love
so yeah,
the creativity behind the whole court thing and the hammer
and
with a spoon.
the hammer with the spoon. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really funny. And then when
Whack
she
him!
picks it up, whack him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whack him.
Whack him!
So Bluey is in the kitchen. No, kitchen area,
Mhm.
Yeah.
arguing with Bandit about if he fluffied in her face, quote unquote fluffied,
Mhm.
which was new vocabulary for me this episode, and I absolutely
Allegedly.
Was this episode banned for like a little bit as
Allegedly.
well because it was just such a goofy
Was it?
premise? Yeah, I think it was,
I
but it went back on
check.
Disney Plus.
No, yeah, this episode was going to be removed because of the
It was
use
removed for a
of
while. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did.
because
I
they
didn't-
were
I didn't know
bad
that.
about farting.
I mean,
Mhm.
Disney
Disney
they
is so
kinda-
soft. Oh my gosh.
That's a
it's
whole
not
other
that they're
topic.
soft. I think that it's when it's not their content. They are just a bit more,
That's true.
It is true. It is true.
just slightly.
Like obviously, it makes sense why Dad Baby was removed, but this
Oh yeah.
yeah,
absolutely not. Like, come on, it's funny, it's goofy.
It-
This
is
episode
really
is
funny.
like
it's
I
it's wholesome. It's not
Yeah.
like
And
crude.
at the end of the day, it's not anything that's like. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
teaching anything bad, and it's not.
No, it's not.
Inappropriate.
And this is like a family dynamic that almost every
and it is a family
has,
dynamic
yes.
that happens in every family. But anyways, moving on from that little Disney rant, somebody want to lead off on what happens next because I
Yeah,
don't
sure, I
remember the
got it.
specifics. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
you go,
basically,
Owen.
the episode is about Bandit and Bluey arguing. Like it starts off with them arguing, and then we realize that Bluey is accusing of Bandit for fluffying. For the non-Australian viewers, that means farting.
I don't know if that's Australian slang or if they just.
It's
I
just like a
think
kid's slang, I'm
probably.
pretty sure.
I think it
I'm
might
gonna look
be
it up right now.
Australian.
I am too.
Yeah, look it up.
Is
Again,
fluffing
we're not Australian, so
Australian?
Look at that. Apparently,
yeah.
it is Australian slang.
I mean, it
Yeah,
makes sense.
Looks like it.
However,
sounds
I don't know
Australian.
if that came from. I don't think it did because I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I think I have heard it before, but not particularly used in Australia. But I think I've heard
Welcome
it.
to Around the Creek. We know
Yeah.
nothing about Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the point. I think we're one of the few
Yeah,
non-Australian podcasts.
We're one of the few. Cool. Anyways, ramblings.
We're piecing apart this episode delicately. We're really looking
Oh,
into
yes.
what is a fluffy.
We are really
Truly.
just picking this apart, and that's okay.
Yeah. And it results in a court trial with
Yeah.
Chili being the what is it? What are they called?
Judge.
The
judge,
judge,
yeah.
yes.
With the curlers in her hair. It's so clever.
I love how Bandit's like, but Your Honor, and she's like, oh, new rule.
Yeah.
Everybody has to-
Yes.
That was really funny.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. New rule. Everyone calls me Your Honor. And the way that Bandit tries to like win over Chili by like, talking in a more like
Yeah.
flirtatious way, and it
Oh.
kind of works.
And then the way that Bluey presents the scenario where he yeah he oh no he I am losing it here, folks. Where she uses a skunk to represent him was really funny.
Yeah, that was
Um,
funny.
it's just you know
Which
This
would
episode actually
that's
really reminded me of classic dads in cartoons.
yeah yeah.
yes. Well, the
Which I
entire
mean
show, really.
yeah
Well,
Let's
no,
be
not really,
honest.
because Bandit is like way better than like Homer
most
Simpson
cartoon
or
dads
something.
yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, and then they do this whole court case, and the ending is just hilarious.
Yeah, I love the
Everybody go,
ending.
everybody out, everybody out.
Yeah.
So I actually have done a mock trial. Like we spent months preparing for it. It was super fun. But
Oh, I did this too.
yes, have you done, I guess you've done a mock trial. Have you done a mock trial, Elijah?
I have not in ages,
Oh,
but yes.
they
No,
are
I have done one
fun.
before. I've done one before, just not in
Uh,
a while.
yeah. Well, I've done a mock trial and they are fun and
Actually,
I
wait,
a lot of it
I
was
did one
kind
last
of
year.
accurate to how like you could tell that it wasn't just like random nonsense. Like there was like some parts
Hmm.
that's like you gotta call the judge your honor, and like evidence, and also bribing witnesses.
Oh, the evidence the evidence
Yes,
scene is one of my favorites. How
Oh,
like
the evidence. Why?
yes.
What did Bennett say?
my food choices does
Are
not have to
not.
do with like
My food choices are not on trial.
yeah.
Maybe I wasn't far off with saying that like it's a good introduction to the legal system for kids. I was kind of jokingly saying that when I said that in the intro, but I mean I wasn't too
It
far
might it
off.
might be, but like I love the
Not really.
evidence scene a lot because Bingo, not Bingo, Bluey's pretending to be like a detective, and she's set up this whole like almost like crime scene investigation
Well,
notes
yeah, she's like
for
she's like a
everything.
she's like the prosecutor. It's
Exactly.
hilarious.
And the fluffy meter that Bingo
Oh,
has, I
fluffy
want that
button.
ruler. I want it now.
That
And
was
they just
funny.
had that lying around, like,
Hmm.
why? What context? Or they just make it specifically
Like,
for
why do you have a ruler that has a thing that goes up and down? I need one immediately.
like a fart cloud kind of ruler.
Yeah.
It's
Okay
perfect.
then.
So many
Uh,
parts this episode were just so humorous and
Yeah.
so well carried out. Um, Obviously, fart jokes are used a lot, but
Hmm.
this
yeah.
episode they weren't overused to like a level where it's just like it's unfunny. Like it was all used well. It was used
It was almost there,
appropriately.
but they didn't get there, thankfully. One of
Yeah.
my favorite scenes actually is the part where they're like saying like, "Oh," Bandit's like, "Oh no, I've never fluffied," and then they all say, "Oh yes, you
Yes.
do," and
I
they
I
show
audibly
Uh,
said it as well.
Bingo, pull my finger.
yeah, exactly. But I love that scene not because
Yes.
of the dialogue, but the elevator and how the aspect ratio is like
I noticed that
changed.
too.
I would,
Oh,
Yes.
I love that. I love that so much. It was so like
Well, because they're
just
in an
subtle.
elevator. Yeah.
Yeah, but like they didn't have to do that. They could have just shown the full shot
That is very
easily, but they
true.
didn't, and I love that.
It's just like yeah. There's so many parts of this that just really are
Hmm.
good. Like I was not expecting to enjoy as much as I did. I was like, "Oh, we're doing
so
Family Me for this episode." I was like,
it's almost like I don't want to say it is because I'm not 100% sure.
I
Um, but I want to say that this is kind of based around maybe like a mix of Law and Order and Judge Judy.
oh yeah, no, totally.
Because
definitely.
what I was reading is that in the Commonwealth, they don't really use gavels, unlike in the U.S.
Hmm.
Really?
Yeah,
They
but
use
then they
spoons.
also said
Just kidding.
that members of the judiciary in Australia wear curly powdered wigs.
No, yeah, I think that's like
That's
just
like a
tradition.
common like thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's a common thing. So that's pretty funny. So I mean, curlers were like comedic timing type
Hmm.
thing.
No, that was
Yes.
great. Uh, Another thing I wanted to mention is this episode is actually pretty good for the lore because we learn Bluey's full name
Oh
Yes.
in this
yes,
episode.
Bluey Christine Healer.
I was about to
Yeah,
say
That
Charlotte.
would
I'm
be
like,
cool.
that's not right. It's not Charlotte.
yeah.
Charlotte.
Sharp.
I was like, wait, hold up.
Also, the whole thing about like throwing people under the bus,
Yeah.
then kind of in the process throwing yourself under the bus is
hmm
says a lot, and you know.
The message in this episode is also pretty good.
Yes, I was wondering we were gonna
Yes.
talk about the message, yeah, or the
Yeah, the message is pretty good.
the truth will set you free. Well, I mean, it didn't set Bluey free, but
hmm
I mean,
there's a good truth to that for sure.
technically it did. Because hear me out. Technically, it set her free from the guilt
True.
of.
Oh, that's true.
That
Yeah.
is very true. Very
I
relatable.
also want to mention the what's the word for like when something gets turned around and the story changes in the movies. The
Climax,
not the climax, but like
the
a twist
conflict, or
the twist villain kind of thing, but
Huh?
it's not a villain. This is
no, I understand what you're trying to say. I don't think there's
I
actually
don't.
like a term for
it's
that.
at the
That's
tip
like
of my tongue. There is a term for it. It's at the tip of my tongue.
Please explain it in further detail.
a plot
Okay, but
twist.
the plot twist. That's it. The
Oh,
plot twist.
okay. That's
Did
what
you
it
not
Plot
just say
twist.
plot twist though?
is.
I think you
said a
just said
twist.
plot twist.
Did I say plot twist?
You said twist.
Said
Yeah, I know. But I was trying. Okay, whatever. I love the plot twist at the end of why Bluey was in the room in the first place, and that is also like put
yes.
on trial in the end, which I think is pretty cool. And they even mention it in the beginning of the episode where Bluey's explaining what happened, and she says like, "I was over here doing something," and then they never just get onto that except at the very end, which is I love
Mm-hmm.
it. It
Yeah.
comes full circle.
The moral of the story, bribery's bad.
Yeah,
The tipping off
Uh,
bingo.
Bingo, got her lollipop taken away.
yeah.
Poor
I love
bingo.
that scene as well. I
Not
love
for
that scene.
Bingo.
It's like,
Bingo accepted a bribe.
That's
That's a
true.
criminal offense.
But she's also 4.
Yeah, that is true.
I did love that scene though. It's like, are you being cheeky to get a treat or something? And then Bingo's like, yes. And it's like,
Maybe.
give it here. And then she's like, oh, and then just gives it.
It
Which
almost
I
reminded me
like.
of a obstacle course.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, because the same sort of
Mhm,
you know, being doing something not so good.
exactly. I have some gripes about obstacle course though.
Oh
That's
yes, we know.
yeah, we know.
I'm
That's
sure we'll get to that
removed.
eventually.
Well,
But I think a lot of this, like the bribery stuff and evidence, like all of it kind of reflected like kind of how like it isn't like an actual justice system. Like
yeah.
obviously it's not like distinctly like, yeah, this is how legal system works. So honestly that's too much for kids, but it at least
No, obviously.
introduces it in like a fairly logical way. Like, okay, we present evidence, and then that evidence sways whether this person's right or this person's right, and they actually use like
Mhm.
actual terminology like defense and prosecution. And yeah, so again, saying at the start, a, a good introduction to the legal system. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe my joke was not actually a
It
joke.
might actually be.
It actually kind of opened up like how the legal system works a little bit.
It kind of does. I don't know too much about the legal system, but I'm
I
guessing
do.
it has to do. Okay, I'm guessing it has something to do along the lines of this. There's probably more complicated
Oh,
wording
it's
and
much
stuff
more
because
complicated, yes. But like,
it's
and
all
how
as
they
all
opened
things
up,
are.
with like the terminology when we're talking about like fluffy, like that's something you'd actually do in like a trial, like define the terminology of like frequently
Is that something you'd
distinct.
actually do in a trial? This
Yes,
man farted.
I'm
What is this
like pretty
sentence?
sure that
I
like
see what you're saying. I don't know if they do that in trial, but it
no,
is
they
a
do.
funny.
They
Okay,
actually like define
I don't
like
know. I
terms.
don't look at that many trials, but
No, I mean neither, but I guess so.
I've actually watched a few trials, and I've also been kind of interested in the legal system as well. So I kind of pay attention to that kind of stuff, and it's very interesting.
It
how
is
much they
interesting.
actually cram into
But
this
yeah,
7-minute
I can
episode.
imagine. It's a funny little formality.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, but it's also kind of educational in a way, which is weird to
I
say.
I don't know if it's. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you can pick up on the deeper stuff, then yeah,
That's
I think it's
true.
pretty educational.
Kids are not gonna pick up on it,
Yeah,
but
no,
for those that do, I mean, there's a lot to be learned here.
there is.
There's also, I wanted to mention, the music in this episode is really fun and really bouncy. I don't know how else to
I
describe
didn't
need
even
it.
to
notice the
re-
music.
I need to re-listen to the music because
Yeah,
I mean, it's not one of the episodes. I mean, I'm sure it's amazing music. I just don't remember it
obviously.
because
I
all
didn't
the
even notice
Bluey
it.
music is absolutely just perfect.
All right, so I have a personal experience with a mock trial, and just to get to know at least me a little bit more. I'm sure you're gonna learn all about all of us throughout the
Oh
podcast,
boy.
but
Oh boy.
I've done a mock trial. It's pretty fun. I actually enjoy like criminal defense law and stuff like that. I think it's pretty fun. That's why I kind of enjoy this episode a little bit more than I thought I would. Is because it actually does like reference a lot of things in the legal system. It was pretty fun. But the mock trial that I did, um, I kept forgetting to say Your Honor. And this was like a real
Oh,
judge. So we had
Oh,
a real judge. Um,
oh boy.
well then
and
you
he
were
was
practically
not
out.
happy about it. I
Yeah.
kept forgetting to like
Oh boy.
stand up and say Your Honor. And as I was up on the stand, he just full on burned me up. And
Did you
like,
have a hammer, a gavel?
oh yeah, I had a gavel. But like behind me, there was like it was a real courthouse, real judge, and we had all these people. Like I think my mom was there.
Oh wow.
Oh
Like
boy.
the parents of like all the rest of the people that are in the mock trial. There was at least like
Were you a
50,
defendant
60 people. We did both
or a
sides.
lawyer?
We did both
Oh
sides.
yeah,
But I
cool.
was we played multiple roles because our class wasn't we, we we didn't have enough people to fill all the roles, and so I think
Okay.
I did multiple roles. But
That's fun.
But no
it
one
was
got
a
to be
really
the
fun mock
judge.
trial. No, but the judge absolutely burned me up because I kept forgetting to say Your Honor and forgetting to stand up. And this was, I believe this is good 3 years ago. This probably was like 13 or maybe 14. I don't know. It was like 2-3 years ago. I can't quite remember. But so I was younger. I was a little bit more stupid. And I mean, we've been rehearsing this mock trial for months. We've been getting ready for it for months. So I should have known this. And I fully accept, like, he was totally in the right for getting on me about this. And I will
No,
never
totally.
forget it. And
Taught
so
you a lesson.
the same thing happened to a girl from the class we were going up against.
Oh boy.
Oh.
But when they did it, she ran out the room crying.
Oh.
So that made me feel a lot better about myself. Cause I was like, I stood my ground. I stood my ground, and so all the moms like, I didn't
boy.
cry, I didn't shed a tear. I was just like, oh no, I'm in trouble. But I was happy about
That
that
is a
because I did stand my grounds.
that
But
is a
Right.
big position for someone to take
he
in, though. I
was
can see why that's
terrifying.
Yeah.
invincible.
He looked like peak Texas judge. He was
Oh
like
boy.
Oh
like
no.
60s. He was about to retire. He was like working as a judge for like I think like good 20, 30 years. Like you could definitely tell he was definitely a seasoned judge.
So, oh god.
But yeah, I that's definitely something I will never forget. But it was a fun experience, and we didn't win. We didn't win the mock trial, but we did pretty good. So
That's
I
cool.
was happy about
It
that.
if I'm actually allowed to add something, I
Why
thought
wouldn't you be allowed?
Of course, we allow you. It's
No, you didn't say Your Honor.
you didn't say Your
Yeah.
Honor.
Your Honor, may I
Owen has been
speak?
kicked off the podcast.
Exactly.
Owen, user has been kicked from your channel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I thought the mock trial that you were talking about would be similar to mine, but yours is like
Yours
super
is, yeah,
professional.
Oh yes,
Uh,
it was.
much
I
more
did it as
professional than any
well.
mock trial I've ever had.
Yeah, where we had to both be a defendant and a what's the other word?
Prosecution.
Prosecution
Mhm.
or lawyer or something like that. So the topic we were talking about, I was actually defending someone for vandalism, and that was really hard to do because what they were doing was clearly wrong. But I used like I don't remember what it's called, but it's a Canadian like not guide, but it's a book basically where it says like all the rights that every Canadian has, no matter what. And so we had to use that, and we had to write out something. Here's the funny thing. So I wrote like a paragraph, not even a paragraph, like maybe 2 sentences, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. I got my point across and all that stuff. And then other people went up and they had like 3 pages of stuff, and I was like, uh-oh, am I supposed to be writing more? Because I didn't want to write more, but the school's almost over. I'm busy with other stuff. I don't want to write more. So I asked the teacher, and he said, no, this is fine if you have the point across and everything. But he said it in like that way where it's like, no, it's fine. If you have
Yeah,
the point across,
it's
like
fine.
it's like, is that are you being serious or are you just being easy to work with? Because like I couldn't tell. I don't know what mark I got on that. I think I got a pretty good mark, but it was a fun thing,
All
and
right.
the judges just decided uh whose side they wanted to do in the end,
That's cool.
which was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
think law's a lot of
oh,
fun.
go on. Law
I
is.
yeah.
I don't know.
I
I'm not that
mean,
into it.
there's. I just think it's really fun, like compiling
I think it's
evidence.
I
I
think it's
like debating.
interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I love
I'm a
debating.
big debater, so I love to like discuss and debate things and back things up with evidence. And
Exactly.
so that's why I really enjoyed this mock trial. Like, it was fun. I'd love to do it again.
Nice.
Mm. Well, I was we did our mock trial. I don't even know what it was about. It was a pretty. It was a decently long time
Is
ago.
this like an American thing where you guys go to
Yeah.
court and do mock
Well, I didn't.
trials?
No, I didn't. I didn't go to a court. I mean, we did go.
Oh, okay.
We toured a federal courthouse, but we didn't do a mock trial there. But
Okay.
that was same year. I'll talk about that as well. But I was the foreperson for the jury, so yeah, that was cool. I got to speak for the jury or
Oh, that's
whatever I
fun.
did. I don't know, something like that. I'm pretty sure I didn't go the day of the mock trial.
Oh.
You dang.
I don't remember.
I I I don't know if it's the same way you did, but that was like the number one no-no. Like we all needed to show up or else we were
Well, I
in
mean,
big
it's not like it
trouble.
was. It's not like it was a club, and it wasn't much of anything serious. It was just kind of a.
Was it mandatory?
Not really. I mean, if you were there, yeah, it wasn't like a club or anything or like
Mhm.
an extracurricular. It was a part of a class. It's not like that's like kind of
Well,
It
then
was
when.
you
part of a
have to
class for
be
me,
there.
But
yeah.
that's when grades were not as prevalent.
It's like this assignment is not being graded. Okay, I'm not there.
I mean, I still like wrote stuff for it. I think that's the part that mattered. Was like I think we had an essay
Yeah.
to do
Mhm.
with it, and that's the part that mattered. So I did
Oh, I
that.
hate
I don't know.
essays.
I don't remember. Um, and then yeah, I toured a federal courthouse. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Had U.S. Marshals there because they're the ones who protect the federal courthouses.
Mhm.
Got to meet a federal judge. Um,
That's pretty cool. That
yeah,
sounds like a really cool field trip. I'd love to
it was
do
a
a
pretty
field trip
cool
like
field
that.
trip. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we got to go there and we went there before the mock trial and the judge like kind of talked to us about like law and all stuff and it was really good. Like it was really like educational. It was actually entertaining. Like I was invested. I was really interested. Like the stuff he was talking about was awesome to like hear about. It was really cool.
I'd
Um
probably just snooze in the if I was there, I'd
But
probably
see,
just snooze.
I'm interested in law, so that was just that's why it interested me, and that's why I was very excited to do the mock trial. But I mean, I guess for others, like law could definitely be something really boring.
Yeah, totally.
That's pretty much all I had to say about that, though. It was a fun time. I definitely do a mock trial again, but I don't think I have anything else to really talk about or go over. Do any of you guys have anything else?
No, not really. I think
No.
that's all.
Alright. Well, since we ran out of things to talk about, as always, I'm Elijah,
I'm Aiden.
And I'm Owen.
and this is the Around the Creek podcast. See you next time.
Bye.